CarolinaPrepper.com. If you're looking for quality food storage for hiking, fishing, hunting, basic survival needs, or just for everyday use, check out our food storage line at CarolinaPrepper.com. We also carry other fine quality products such as our can concealment holsters for men and women. Keeping your firearm under cover and within reach puts confidence in your hands in any situation. Our products are 100% American made. Check us out today at CarolinaPrepper.com. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hey, Gary, Robin, good morning. Hey, Rhonda, good morning. How are you? Renee, good to see you. Donna, hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Mary Ann. Ricky, good to see you. Danny, good morning. Danielle. Oh, just got your coffee. Alexis, very good. Very good. Hey, Brian, good to see you. Everybody needs their coffee to get started, I can tell you. Good morning. Hey, Jules, good to see you. Shauna, hello. Julia, good to see everybody. If you would, everybody, please invite your followers and retweet and share. Would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here today. Good to see you. Let's see. As we get started, I want to, well, there's somebody with numbers who's joined. Hello, numbers. Good to see you. I want to read from Matthew 7, starting at verse 15. Hey, Mike, good to see you. You will know them by their fruits. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. Hey, Shannon. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken them to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand, and the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. And so it was when Jesus had ended these sayings that the people were astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. So, amen. Hey, Hugh, good morning. Spencer, good morning to you as well. So how is everybody? Plenty of fruits in D.C. Hey, Big Ralph. Hey, Sherry, good to see you. Jerry, good to see you. If anyone, please pray for my mom as her beloved dog is dying. Oh, gosh. Please pray for Jules' mom. Her dog is passing away, and I know how difficult that can be. Everybody, please pray that the whole family is given healing over this and peace about this. It's so difficult with little dogs like that. Oh, good morning, Ron. You're welcome, Jules. Does anybody else, before we get started, anybody else need prayers this morning? Anybody that anything that you want prayers for? Hey, Josette, good morning. Anybody would be glad to pray for you if you do. The country needs prayers. Yes, Pat, absolutely. Pets are family, Marianne. That's true. Absolutely true. It is animals are family. Yep, Donna. Healing from, the breast cancer. Wow, Sherry would ask for healing for her I can't even say that, breast cancer that has spread to other areas. Is that what you're saying, Sherry? Hey, Jamie, good to see you. My My mom had breast cancer, so I know how horrible that is. Your friend Ruthie, her husband died unexpectedly. Jules said, pray for that family. Wow, a lot of hurt going on, and a lot of need for prayers. News you can use from the crew, and prayers and love. Amen, Barbara. Barbara, we're just praying for a lot of people in here who are hurting today. Hey, good morning, Noel. How are you? A lot of people with a lot of need. Robin is praying for you in Jesus' name, she said. Gary's praying for you. Everybody over on YouTube is praying for everybody who's requested prayers. So for the whole nation, for everybody who's asking for prayers, prayers of healing, prayers of peace, know that the Holy Spirit is the healer. He alone, God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, alone are your healers. People can be healed by the Holy Spirit. People can't be healed by people. People can only be healed through God. God is the healer. Hello, Ellen. How are you? I know, Noel. It's bad. He is the great comforter as well, Jules. Yes, absolutely. But God, just ask God. Go to God for healing. We need to bring pen and paper each morning for prayer requests. Yes, please do. It's a good idea. Hey, Harold. Good to see you. Anybody that needs prayers, please do. Jamie said, pray for the Republicans, people of New Jersey and Virginia. And Robin saying hello to everybody, and then amen. We all, every now and then, everybody needs prayers. More often than not these days. A lot is going on. And Barbara's idea was an awesome idea. Just every morning, whatever you want prayers for, bring that request with you, and we'll do that at the very beginning. It was crazy politically when Jesus said those words you read, Alexa said, and it's crazy politically now. You're from New Jersey and you need all the prayers you can get. Millennial Con said, yes, yes. Yep, we absolutely. We all do. Ask for prayers for your refrigerator. Okay, Don. We might not pray for your refrigerator, but we'll pray for you that you get your needs met. Good morning, Catherine. How are you? Thanks, Pat. All right. So a little while ago, there was breaking news that the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport was being evacuated because of a suspicious bag, and I don't know what all that is. Robin is asking if you could pray for her in her fight to prevent breast cancer from coming back. So if everybody please would take a moment and pray for Robin, that she would be completely healed by the Holy Spirit and not have any problems ever again. Yeah, I do. I do, Shauna. Everybody's praying for you, Robin, praying for your healing. So I don't know. They weren't saying any more that I could see about Phoenix Airport. I don't know if anything else was happening. They said suspicious bag, Alexis. I have no idea what happened after that. It's one of those things where they talk about it in the very beginning and then they don't come back and follow up. So somebody just said hello, guys, and I didn't see who that was. I'm sorry I missed. You could say your name again. We missed you, I guess. Or I missed you. Looking down, I guess. Hey, Lee, good to see you. That's, usually not a good sign. Teresa, good morning. Not a good sign at all. Now, we can, yesterday, I think everybody probably by now has heard that the Texas shooter escaped from a New Mexico mental institution in 2012, and that was after the time that he was charged with the assault on his wife and the assault on his infant stepson. Hey, Laura Lee, good to see you. Marlene, good to see you this morning as well. They said he was sent to the Peak Behavioral Health Services Center in Santa Teresa, New Mexico, but escaped from the facility on June 13, 2012, and fled to El Paso, Texas. So, thank you, Don. Don said that all of us in here in the Scopes and YouTube and Facebook Live are always in his prayers. Thank you for the prayers, Don. Don, really appreciate it. Jamie is saying hello, Shauna. He's waving to you now. So, Well, clearly he had mental health issues, yes. And why do we know everything about Texas and nothing about Las Vegas? Good question. Very good question. I think the difference is that Texas is run a little bit differently than in other states. I know that the FBI is involved in Texas, but it doesn't seem like they've taken over. And Texas seems to me that they're looking for answers and will get them. Glad he was at least in an institution. I know, Barbara. And if that information had gone over, don't mess with Texas. We have God and guns. Hail for Jesus said. Yes. How are you doing, Hail? Good to see you. Hope I haven't missed anyone. If so, good morning. No, Lee, I think everybody saw you. And I saw you now. So because the Texas Rangers will not give up power. Well, and they shouldn't. You know, they can work alongside of them, and the FBI do what they're supposed to do, and Texas do what they're supposed to do. But it seems like in Vegas they've turned everything over to the FBI and just kind of taken a back seat. I don't think that's the way to handle it. But there are people now saying that they might sue the Air Force. The United States government has to approve themselves being sued. So we'll see what happens. Hey, Bill, good morning. Typically, I mean, if you heard my guest that was on, gosh, when was that? Can't even remember, a couple weeks ago. Hardy was his last name. Go there to my website, go to susanknowles.com. We did a whole show on that and about the government and how you just can't do that much with the government. You're kind of, it's like, oh, well, sorry. I was distracted a minute due to a dog grabbing my breakfast sandwich off the table. We know which one that was, too. Hey, Political. FBI is so corrupt. Personally, I feel it's a cover-up, Political said. There are a lot of people doing scopes on that. There's a 3-second rule for dog lips. There you go. Hey, Jules, you're back. Yeah. Sometimes the dogs they're just a little bit faster. That's all. Is everybody getting kicked off of Periscope and coming back on? Is that what's happening? I see Shannon's kind of coming back on. I don't know if people are getting kicked off. If you are, thank you for coming back on. Thank you, Bob, also for sharing my video just now. So, her name is Pistol. Yes, for good reason. It's good here, Jerry said. No, I'm good. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Texas Rangers are an elite law enforcement group that has more power and equipment and guns than the FBI. Did we talk about the vote last night? Not so much. I'm in California. Sorry I need to jump out. Not a problem. Somebody just said good morning and I missed it. I swear, it's going so fast and it just disappears quickly. If somebody could tell me maybe who that person was that said hello just now, I'd appreciate it. When you type it back in, I can see it, finally, But the colors are so light. Welcome, Motil 12. It's your first day on Periscope. Good to see you. Yeah, it's going very fast. Print it's tiny, and they've grayed out, Jerry. It used to be kind of darker than that on the names, and now it's grayed out. I have no idea why. Hey, Nick, good morning. Appreciate your truth. Thank you, Hell for Jesus. Hey, Daniel, good morning. Thank you for repeating that, Lee, so I could see that. Nick, do you have an update on that family of Lisas? Has anybody posted anything more about Lisa and her grandkids and of the woman that her daughter died during the church shooting? Has anybody got an update on her? So sad to lose key elections yesterday. Yeah. Carol Ann, good to see you. What does everybody think about the fact that we lost in Virginia, New Jersey? I mean, I'm really not surprised. So is everybody else just totally taken aback by that? What are your thoughts on the elections? Everybody went silent. Yeah. Not yet. Waiting to hear from my friend. Okay, good. Please let us know, Nick, when you do find out. Blue states, absolutely. Hail for Jesus. I hope that doesn't keep happening. Sherry, absolutely. Heartbreakingly sad. Blue states, yes. Yeah, I think it's not where Trump won anyway. Heard sad story of a mom of shooting who threw herself on 2 kids, but she and 2 more kids were killed. Terrible, Jerry. I don't think it's good, but I wonder. Let's see, they're blue states. Don't get that shot. Yeah. I'm ticked off that my taxes are going to go through the roof, not because the governor can't. Yeah, millennial, don't come to California if you're ticked off about that. I was sad that the people want corrupt government. I'm glad Gillespie lost. He's not. He's a rhino. Well, he really wasn't supportive of Donald Trump. I mean, he was kind of, maybe saying the words but not really meaning it. Virginia is a purple state. No big surprise, Knowles said. Yep. Hillary won Virginia last year. Exactly. It's all those places I can't, where the Democrats reign anyway. Sometimes in blue states you have to run the demo to win. Just don't trust the system, Pat said. Look what happened in Charlotte. All the money spent and the Republicans still lost, Jamie said. And that's where it's a shame. But, I mean, you got some really blue states. Chris Christie really stood his ground in a very literal area of the country. His toll road problems did him in. Virginia is the California of the East Coast, Knowles said. Ooh, not a problem, Donna. Yeah, it's pretty bad. First trans person won last night, yeah, in Virginia. And no surprise, de Blasio got a second term. I mean, as much as everybody hates him, they voted him back in. Oh, McCain, no vote on tax cuts. Of course, he's a no vote on anything that the president wants. So whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Transgender person, Jules. First transgender that in the state of Virginia. There were also some first time for others. Let's see. St. Paul, Minnesota elected its first African-American mayor. The mayor of Hoboken, New Jersey was the first Sikh mayor in the state history. So there were a lot of firsts last night. Low voter turnout in New York City. Yep, Mike. Yep, first transgender in that state to be elected in Virginia. Our country is a mess, Robin said. Yep. Those all states Trump lost was not a surprise. Exactly, NHC. He's a Somalian. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. It would be nice someday to get... Yeah, Daniel, that's true. I have Sikh neighbors. They're very nice people. We had a tranny as first lady. The trans are rolling. Mentally ill way to go. In Virginia, we made big decisions for the whole town. What is John McCain's problem? Doesn't he know he's a Republican? No, he doesn't, Bill. And he hates the president. So whatever the president wants, he will do the opposite. What I was going to say, it would be nice one day to get to a point where you don't have to say anything like, oh, this is the first XYZ. This is the first X, whatever. I just wish we could say this is the first qualified person we've had. This is a qualified person that we elected. That's what I want to hear. I don't care if you're male, female, transgender, this, that, the other. Are you qualified? Can you do the job? And mostly for me, are you conservative? If not, I'm looking for a conservative. This is the first good choice. Enough with dividing us. Yeah, well, that whole division thing, Millennial Con, that's done. That'll keep going. That's what the elites do to divide us. Because as long as they can keep chaos going and divide us, then there's a quote-unquote need for them, and they stay in control. So that's going to continue. That's never going to end. And it's just a matter of when are people going to stop buying into it and believing it. McCain isn't a Republican. He uses it but isn't a part of it. He's a liberal, Robin said. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hugh said, first openly trans, does that mean there's still a chance Nancy Pelosi is a guy? Hugh, I don't know what that means, but... So, again, I think we need to look for qualified individuals and individuals that, for me, too, conservative and follow biblical principles. But that's me. Other people look for other things. But I don't need for them to come out every time and tell me this is the first this, that, and the other. When they read Bibles, know Jesus and pray. Why can't people just be people? I don't know, Ron. Used to be we were all just people. And we left each other alone and we did whatever. And we didn't bother other people. Now it seems like we have to get involved in everybody else's stuff for whatever reason. So just, let people do what they do. President Trump is in China. I don't know if you've been watching. There's been a lot of great things when he was in South Korea. people were really clapping at everything he said. I look for someone who cares about the country and its people. Yes, Pat, now that's a qualification that I'd love to see. Loves the country and the people in it and will do a great job. Okay, that's a very good start right there. So he are trans qualified? I don't know. Are they? I don't have to worry about that. I'm not in Virginia. I mean, if I were in California and that comes up, I don't know. What does the transgender person believe in? I'm gonna see what they have to say about what they believe in, and we'll see. Not sure that. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. I have no idea. Would I vote for, let's say, whatever her name is, Catherine? What is her name? I can't even think of his name. Hey, Donnie, good to see you. The person who is the dad of Kylie and all the Kardashians, Bruce Jenner, and I can't think of his name. Sorry, Caitlyn Jenner. Would I vote for Caitlyn Jenner? Probably not, because even though she says that she's Republican, doesn't seem to be. So, I wouldn't just look at her and say you're out, but I would also look at the values, and probably our values don't mix well together and they don't match. So I would be, nope, that's not who I'm voting for. But I think, you have to look for things. Though, aren't they considered gender divided? I have no idea. I don't know. Hey, Gordon, how are you? Jenner is nuts, Alexis said. No, but would vote for Bruce Jenner, but this other self, I'm too confused. Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't apologize for being politically correct. Hey, Amanda. I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, I would look at the person and see what I thought, and probably their views don't match mine. So, but I'll listen and then I'll make a decision. The president did a great job honoring one of our allies. Bill, he was great, in South Korea, and I think that he was going to go. They said to North Korea, and something happened. Weather was bad or whatever, and he didn't get to go to the DMZ zone. Why does a penis have to do with political ability? I don't know, Alexis. Michelle O will bore for Jenner. I don't know what that means. In Jenner's case, she said applies to a single person. Hugh said. Oh, we'll vote for well, I don't know. Not PC and do not care. Yeah, exactly. But I'll give the person an opportunity. I'll listen. I won't, just say no and close my mind off. I'll listen, but chances are we're not going to agree on things. So, and that's okay. The Trump team is planning a $250 billion deals while he's in China. He's on, I believe he's in China right now. And it's going to be mostly in the energy and industrial businesses. And they're looking at businesses. I think some of the people, the executives from these businesses came over there too. Boeing, Qualcomm, Alaska Gas Line, Development Corporation. They went to China with Trump. I know, hey, mighty blessed one. I know that President Trump last night was saying he's not sure why China defends North Korea. Because he gave one example, and it was really, really horrible. The North Koreans look at any baby or any person that isn't fully North Korean as being inferior. It's kind of like Margaret Sanger did in the United States, looking at black people, thinking they were inferior to everybody else. The dictator in North Korea feels the same way. And apparently there was a story the president was talking about where this pregnant woman gave birth to a child that was, it's okay, Fred, was part North Korean, part Chinese. And they took the baby and put it in a bucket and killed the baby. And President Trump said, why would anyone who feels that way about a Chinese baby, why would he do that? Why would they support somebody like that? So, that is a good question. And Alexis, why do you say the president is not making new deals but just restructuring? I don't understand that. Oh, they have Planned Parenthood in Korea? I don't understand your questions, Alexis. It doesn't. Your questions this morning don't sound like you, so I don't know what yours a joke. Okay, wasn't sure. Trump's speech in Korea was awesome. Gary said, if someone is born a man and dresses like a lady, it is not normal or godly. They are living in a lie. That person needs deliverance before they get my vote. Josette said. Um, yeah, so I think this is going to be really good in China. Isn't it strange? White House had killers, liars, trans, black, whites, Muslims, and I really don't know what that means there. So this is a slow plan of the OFA for us to slowly acquiesce to anti-Christian cultural differences, to slowly break down our good moral values. That's right, Bill. Trump's pretty good about not telling other countries how to live or run their countries. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't go into another country and tell them what they should or shouldn't do. I did like the fact that, but that was just a question of China, and I thought that was a very good one. When you're killing babies because that you think that something, a child other than North Korean is inferior, then you got a problem. That's a real issue. That's Margaret Sanger stuff. And so I'm not sure, I guess the answer would be money, and that's why they're doing it. So, hello, Josie, how are you? What's your position on the death penalty? Cut. We're not talking about the death penalty right now. So I'm going to go back and do this. Um, Jeff Flake was tweeting this morning about closing a gun hole loop for domestic violence, and there is no there's already a law on the books about background checks and not giving to people who have temporary restraining orders against them. So again, Jeff Flake has taken over where John McCain left off. And so anything that the president comes out and talks about, Jeff Flake is going to go the opposite way. Not knowing what impact one's sexual orientation or desires thereof have on their abilities in the political spectrum, leave me with a wait and see position on that, Spencer said. Gary said share. Okay. Yeah, Flake is basically, he's mad. He's like John McCain. He can't get over it. He can't see what's for the best interest of the country. So he's going to do this for 14 more months until he leaves. So if you could, we're about at the halfway point. If you guys could retweet this and share it, I really appreciate it. And hopefully you won't have any problems doing that. Yeah, Flake was aptly named. And again, Flake he was born in Snowflake, Arizona. I mean, what are the chances of that? I mean, come on. That's just crazy. And it's true. It's all about them, not the people or promises. Yeah. Now, some new info fake name. What's a fake name, Mike? Hey, Ruthie, good morning. Too much flake. We need more cowbell. That's just flaky. Well, that's his real name. Jeff Flake is his real name. Meet Kelly Ward, CPAC. Oh, you met Kelly Ward? Yeah, Millennial Cons. I want her to get in. She does a lot for veterans, and I like that. And I think she should do more for veterans, and I'd like her even more. But I want anybody in Arizona who appears to be a Republican and a conservative one. Flake needs to melt away. Maybe in the spring, Amanda? I don't know. I don't know anyone named Flake. Well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That's what he claims is his name, and that's what everybody else says his name is, so I have no idea what it would be other than Flake, so I don't know. But he is from Snowflake, Arizona. I do know that, so. Let's see. Information on Fusion GPS. The co-founder of Fusion GPS met with remember the female lawyer, 34 in Rochester this morning? Whoa. Then you have a lot of flakes in Rochester, New York. Donald, me too. Oh, something in the commentaries. He'll melt only next spring. Flake let Arizona down. Yep. No, met thousands, never knew a flake, only flaky people. I wish she had taken McCain out last time. She's awesome. I know. Well, and again, it's the Arizona people, for whatever Knowles voted for him. I have no idea. Yeah, that's what the flake settled snowflake Arizona. Well, interesting. Maybe that's why they took that name. I have no idea. I don't vote in the basis on the basis of race or religion or sexual orientation. My vote is won by sound stewardship of the issues at hand, Spencer said. So anyway, what I was saying was the co-founder of Fusion GPS met with the attorney, that female Russian attorney that supposedly met with Donald Trump Jr. Uh, the co-founder of the Fusion GPS met with that lawyer before and after the meeting she had with Donald Trump Jr. So that is a little suspicious and a little bit more involvement there with Russia than Fusion GPS would have you believe they are. What's negative of Flake other than the fact that he does not like Trump? Oh, cut. I can't go back and look at his record. He's a flake. He's not a conservative Republican. He's a rhino. That's what's wrong with him. Going to be 75 in Vegas today. Yep. Going to be warm in California, too. I wonder why Representative Raul Halva keeps getting elected. He's a progressive bad guy. Well, maybe that's who's in the state. Meghan McCain is on the View now. So, that's okay, Ron. I'll take your word for it. I'm not going to be looking and finding out. Flake has been hated for years because he stinks. That's right, Jules. He was such a disappointment. People thought he was coming in there and he wasn't going to just sort of, get in the mix with the rhinos. And boy, were they sorely disappointed. Because that's exactly what he did. He just went around with the rhinos. McCain has been too quiet. Yeah. It's when they're quiet, you got to be wondering what is it they're hiding or what is it they don't want you to see, because he was out as often as he could be on TV and now he's very quiet. Mariah Carey is in the news. Her former head of security is claiming that she sexually harassed him. McCain has cancer, brain cancer, yes. You're moving to Alaska? Well, Josie, that's great. Probably a very nice place. A lot of people live in Alaska and absolutely love it. How can anyone trust a person who proclaims Republican values but walks in league with the Democrats? I know, Spencer. Good point. Very good point. And that's why they didn't like Jeff Flake, just like you're saying. So Mariah Carey's former head of security is claiming she sexually harassed him. He's also claiming that she called him a lot of names, and so defamation. She called him a Nazi, a skinhead, a KKK member, and a white supremacist. That's why people really need to watch what they call people, because that's defamation. Also claims she exposed herself to him and claims sexual harassment in different various ways. And also that she owes him money. Poor guy, do you believe it? Well, Ruthie, we'll find out, because I'll tell you what, when you make claims of sexual harassment, there's a process. You go through the court system. And there's tons of depositions, so they'll find out what was said, when it was said. I think that he's not the only one claiming it. Not the one. A lot of people, I guess, are claiming they saw it or they know that's how she treated other people. So you have to be careful what you say and do. If you're going to call somebody names, you better be able to prove it. You're going to call somebody a white supremacist or KKK member and defame them like that, you better be able to prove it. And I think I told you one time I was a therapist for a woman who was claiming sexual harassment at her employment, and I was in a videotape deposition, and there were, I can't remember now exactly, 6 to 8 attorneys that were questioning me, and they were questioning everybody. So again, when you're talking about a big deal, And so people, I don't think people make these statements lightly, whether it's true or not. That'll all come out. It is a huge deal. And again, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Oh, really? Corey Feldman filed charges? I know he came out and talked about it the other day. Hey, Amber. So, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I think she owed him, his allegations are they owed him about $200,000 that were never paid and some other monies. And the last I heard was the attorney wanted to pay off some of the things, but he was saying it's not acceptable right now. Whatever the offer is not acceptable. Also, we're finding out about, when the Air Force didn't. People need not to say or accuse people without proof. That is, if you have not seen it, it is gossip. It's hearsay. Absolutely, unless you can prove it, it's hearsay. And if you're calling people names, yeah, it's defamation of character. You can be sued for that, and it's not good. So best not to do that. The Air Force not reporting the information on the Texas shooter could be a systemic problem. So there could be a lot of other people who the Air Force was supposed to give that information over to the FBI, and they didn't do it, and that's going to be a real problem. Hopefully they're checking now. Hey, Marvin, checking now to determine whether or not they've inputted everything that they should have. Other news, this is kind of a sad look at where we are right now in society. One of the jurors in the Democrat Senator Robert Menendez case, the corruption trial that's going on right now, one of the jurors asked the judge, what is a senator anyway? So they had no idea what a senator is. So my thing is, it's supposed to be a jury of your peers. And I'm just not sure what that looks like anymore. I mean, if you're in the United States and you're on a jury or anything else and you don't know what a senator is, that's a problem. And so the judge, I know, Julia, is like Marvin said, Lord have mercy if it's going on within our military. Yeah, I know, Marvin, not a good. But the judge just said, draw on what you know and kind of like figure it out. I know, Amanda. That was not a good thing to see. And again, like I said, if you need a jury of your peers, maybe that's a little bit more difficult to find somebody these days that are really your peers. I don't know. Senator will not sure myself anymore. Too funny. I know, Amber, it is too funny if it weren't true, and so it really kind of makes it very sad. I mean, just think about how many more people are sitting on a jury and legitimate cases are going on and people have no clue as to what's going on. It's funny that there was a radio show that used to call on people, and it was kind of a little joke they were playing on them, and they would ask them questions about politics or just common sense stuff that you would think, and they did not know the answers to the very simplest of questions. I wonder if he knows what a judge is. I kind of doubt it. That's a microcosm of our society today. Exactly, millennial. We're just not teaching people like we used to. Civics is not being taught in our schools anymore. Sad, Marvin said. Absolutely. It's kind of almost like I don't know if it's intentional, but like they don't want you to know what the process is. Perhaps that's because a lot of people don't believe that the Constitution should still be the rule of law, and they want to get rid of it. Obama used to call it an old, outdated type document or whatever, and so I don't think they want you to know what the laws are, what the Constitution is. My son is learning all the different systems down to 5th grade. Good, Amber. Sounds like you have them in a good school. Oh, it's intentional. They want the minions to stay reliant on government. Yes. That's my opinion too. I think that Ruthie, I think Donna Brazil is number one. She's coming out and speaking out because she's afraid she's going to commit suicide, intentionally commit suicide. And I'm being sarcastic there. I think she's getting everything out so that they can't come after her. Either that or she's the best liar in the world. I don't know which one. But I think, Donna Brazile got treated like dirt, according to her, when she was in the election campaign, and supposedly Hillary treated her like dirt, and I think she probably got enough of it. And so it's kind of like, okay, you want to treat me like dirt? Let me just get the dirt out there on you. And there's a lot of it, I'm sure. I also think she's wanting to sell her book. That too. That's always an issue. I mean, we had one of the Hillsong pastors that went on The View, supposedly, and they asked him about abortion. Do you believe in abortion? And he would not answer the question. He skated around it. Because why? Because he didn't want to offend the people on The View. He wanted to sell his book. And I'm sorry, if you're a pastor. Oh, she retracted, Rhonda? What did she retract? If you're a pastor and somebody asks you if you believe in abortion, I think you better answer that question, whether it's going to hurt you or not, or hurt your book sales. I think you better answer that question, because you're going to be answering to God in the future, and it's not going to be good. Hillsong is horrible, false teaching. Absolutely, Robin. The View is liberal, and obviously that pastor is too, Ruth. People are so afraid of not being truthful for fear of man. Absolutely. Abortion is murder. Yep. And also, it was Carl Lentz, Lentz, of Hillsong. And the thing of it is, it says in the Bible that pastors are held to a higher standard. And God says that. That's not my rules. That's God's rules. And if you lead the children of God astray, whoo, don't even, like I said, I don't want to be standing in the same line with you or anywhere near you. Explain the Hillsong comment. Pastor Carl Lentz, Lentz, of Hillsong, went on The View. They asked him point blank about abortion, and he would not say that abortion was biblically, against the Bible. He wouldn't say that. He didn't. He skirted around the question because he's trying to sell his book. Bethel is another horrible ministry. That's right. Absolutely, Robin. Have to be careful. It's like you have to be careful of false prophets. And if you're going to be a pastor and you say you're a Christian pastor, then you'd better be following the biblical principles. What in the world? What a shame. Yeah. Yep. Hillsong is liberal leaning, very liberal leaning. Okay, Josie, have a great day. Take care. Yeah, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of falling away of the churches and pastors. In case of conflict, what should be follow the Constitution of the Bible. The Bible, of course. Constitution came from biblical principles. Churches becoming more liberal, that's for sure. What happened is the reason that churches are becoming more liberal is that they're just taking, a lot of them, they're not following the word. They're taking a grace-based approach, and you can't just take a grace-based approach. You've missed half the Bible. You've got to look in there and see the other half. We allow or set under pastors who teach this, yet we dox people for beliefs. Yep. No, Barbara, it's a shame. But, as I said, pastors are going to be held to a higher standard. I hate the liberalism in church. It's about the money. That's true too, Barbara. Churches are afraid of losing members. So wrong. Absolutely, Jules. Again, when you're down here on the earth, you may be answering to man here, and you think you are, but you better not be looking at man as your God, and you're not going to be answering to man. When the time comes, you're going to be answering to God, and so you better live your life accordingly. And again, nobody's perfect. Everybody's a sinner, and everybody has to do what they have to do, and what they do with God, and how they get their forgiveness and everything. That's between them and God. Well, our denomination got sued $1 million for not wanting to marry same-sex. Well, Ruthie, then that's fine. If your church gets sued out of existence, that's fine too. You can have church anywhere. You can be outside on the sidewalk, in a house, under a tent, doesn't matter. It's through grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone, mostly about the faith in Christ, the gospel. Yep, Robin. I think, a lot of these mega churches, they get off course because they do look to see, where the money's going to come from. Oh, Teresa, you're talking about the pastor at the Sutherland Springs, Texas church? I didn't see your comment about him. I just saw it. You said something. Church in China grew through persecution. We have to stand for our belief. We do, Ruthie. And if you lose your church over it, then you lose your church over it. Julia, it's like Oprah's New Age Christianity. They think just believing in one path is not inclusive. Yeah, well, Julia, that's the problem about New Age, because New Age isn't biblical. You have to be with biblical principles if you're a Christian. So, again, if these mega churches, if you're so afraid of losing your money and you're willing to go against biblical principles, then God help you. God will bless the church that puts God's word first, not finances. Absolutely, Jules. Absolutely. And I think, people just get so caught up. Yeah, I saw that, Shauna. People get so caught up in this world and worrying about man in this world. They're not worrying about what comes next. And you have to worry about the life after this one. Seeker-friendly church is a huge trap from the enemy. I've said it for decades. Absolutely, Rhonda. You're right. Not teaching the whole Bible when you're doing that. Looks like a lot of people are getting kicked off of Periscope right now and coming back in, but they're getting kicked off. Read the whole comment. Yeah, by Grace. Exactly, Robin. It takes all of that, and that's what should be taught. Let's see. North Korea warns the U.S. it will be an abyss of doom if the old lunatic Trump remains president. So North Korea is just talking again. Small churches are usually better. Well, Amanda, you know what is even kind of better? I don't know. I don't know, better maybe isn't the right word, but what I like to see in churches, I like to see those churches that go out and do community work. It's like Jesus went out in the community, right? And so it's really good to see people doing that. Yeah, it's kind of strange, huh, Barbara? Trump will remain POTUS? Absolutely. Small churches are great. Yeah, it's basically when even in small churches can kind of be led astray. If you let one person who's not following the Bible lead you, they can lead you astray. So you have to be careful. That's why God gave us discernment. So it's always important. Saudi government is going to confiscate $800 billion from alleged corrupt individuals, and they do expect more arrests, and they say it's probably going to be very difficult to get that money from those people, but $800 billion, that's a lot of money. So, some people are equating that to, $800 billion. Saying that there's a lot of stuff going on, illegal stuff. So we'll see what comes of all that. But, you would have to think that President Trump had a lot to do, or something at least to do with all of that happening. Yeah, you could use $1 billion. I know, Ruthie. Hey, I'll even split it with you if you can get it. Let's just split that. That would be great too. That is a lot of money. $800 billion. Well, it just shows you how much money that they really have over there. Let's see. Now this was, I know, 500K. That's what I say. That's great. Let's take that. Marilyn Manson. Everybody knows who Marilyn Manson is. He returned to the stage on Monday performing in San Bernardino, California, the site of the terrorist shooting that we all know about in 2015, and just 2 days after the church massacre in Texas. And what does he do? He debuts a new stage prop, which was a fake semi-automatic gun rigged to his microphone, which he pointed at the crowd. As he sang, "We know where you effing live," I guess, He was handed the prop gun, which had an obvious orange tip on it, so nobody knew that, everybody knew it wasn't a real gun, or they hope so. As a rapid drumbeat beat, he held the gun to his shoulder and aimed at the crowd, which is absolutely ridiculous anyway. The symbolism of the prop was also chilling, considering that just a month ago, a crowd of concert goers in Las Vegas were killed. Not sure why he would do something like that. To me, it's very evil. It's very vile, inconsiderate, over the top, that you would do that following every tragedy that we've recently had. I guess people do a lot of stuff for attention. He's on drugs, Marianne said. Perhaps. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. He's always been nuts, lived near him, Amanda said. That's exactly why he did it, Fred. Yeah, terrible judgment on his part. Yeah, I mean, people are willing to get attention no matter how vile it is. I mean, that's what's amazing. Yeah, Don, I know no one died from Marilyn Manson, but it's really poor taste, if nothing else. Comes at a very, very bad time to do something like that. I wrote an article today. I don't know if anybody saw it at SusanKnowles.com. Did anybody see the article or hear about the Georgia teacher? Did anybody see that article? Satanic man, right? No, dang, missed it again. And I tweet it out there every day, every day. Yeah, basically, thank you, Shauna. Basically, there was the teacher in Georgia, and there's a videotape. I have it in the article. It was taped by somebody else, by another student in the classroom. A white teacher, black a male student, 11th grader, as I recall. And what happened was the 11th grader was misbehaving, and the mother even said, yeah, he was misbehaving. He should have been doing what the teacher told him to do. But the teacher went off on him and just basically said something to the order of, you better quit that smiling. Someday somebody's going to shoot you for doing that. And then he intimated that it might just be the teacher who shoots him. So he's on administrative leave, which may not surprise you. But the mother is saying, I think that something else needs to be done. Because, you have a teacher that does that to a child. She goes, there had to have been a better way. I totally agree with her. You don't threaten people with physical harm or any other harm. And I guess he apologized to the student. But, I mean, seriously, why? There's something wrong that you did that in the first place. I looked up Georgia law. And there's many states that if you just, you just say something, verbally say something, it may not be illegal. It may not be considered an assault. But in Georgia, if you threaten somebody with harm and just saying it, and some other things, are required, but it's a possibility of you being charged with a misdemeanor in Georgia for threatening somebody like that. So teachers take so much. They do, Marlene. Absolutely, they do. But also, that doesn't give the teacher a right to say that to the student. The man is demonic, and in some of the videos, he mocks Christ. Josette's talking about Manson. Yeah. She needs to file charges. I would, Amanda. I would, too. They do get exasperated. They really do. But, I mean, there are a lot of professions. Police officers get exasperated. You can't do that stuff. Couldn't be a teacher or, take a leave of absence, whatever. No, they'll just quit. And it could be. I mean, there are some people that, maybe you shouldn't be teaching. You shouldn't be in whatever profession. I was a therapist, for at-risk kids at a school. They did the most horrendous things, but it didn't give me the right to come after them like that teacher did. I mean, if I don't like what's saying, I can send them for a consequence, but I don't have a right to threaten a child or an adult in my profession either. And there have been some crazy things. The mother wants to sue. Big Ralph said, yeah, and maybe she should. I mean, because that was, when you see the video, that was over the top. talking about like maybe putting. Well, you go read it. I don't want to say the words that he said and be wrong. So, hey Norma Jean, how are you? So, but it was way over the top, way out of line. If it's again allegations, they're looking into it. There is a video of it. Seen teacher snap after dealing with problem students over and over. Yep. And there are students that will, or teachers that sometimes physically hit a student, or are accused of that. You can't do that. And if teaching isn't, again, if it's so much for you and you can't handle it, then retire from teaching or go into another profession. And it's not for everybody. It's no wonder teachers snap though. Oh, Shauna, yeah. I mean, if you get abused and verbally abused all the time, I can totally understand it. Still against the law, but I totally understand it. Got to plug in now and then. Yeah. So hopefully that maybe it'll get resolved without any suing. Maybe they'll probably settle. The school district will probably settle. And I did like the fact that the mother said my son was wrong. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. I give her kudos for that. After 20 years of taking kids crap and apathetic parents, yeah. My friend deals with 4-year-olds and often gets hit by them. Hopefully he doesn't do anything back. Lee. I mean, come on. They're 4-year-olds. And yes, again, those people need consequences. That, I was glad to see that, Marlene. She said, I admit, my son he was misbehaving. He was wrong. And so I like that. I mean, you gotta accept responsibility, when you should. And the mother did. And hopefully she gave the son a consequence. I doubt it in this case, but, no, she's very patient. Good, Lee. Yeah, I mean, when you're dealing with 4-year-olds, a little bit different. First grader threw a chair at my mom, 20 stitches in the face. Wow. See, that's where, that kid should be removed from the school. That's just, you can't have that stuff. There's something really wrong there that a child would do that. I wouldn't turn my back on high school students, Big Ralph said. Somebody said first grade? Yeah, Fred. Had part of a baseboard thrown at me in class, missed by that much. Wow, Barbara. Yeah, I've had at-risk kids that have put their hands through glass doors. So, my dad threw a cue ball at my head. Well, Rhonda, I'm sorry about that. No discipline today. I know, Sapphire. I mean, and that's a lot of reasons, because if you don't give a consequence for inappropriate behavior, it will just continue. So parents and the school, parents really need to do it, and the school needs to do it. Well, I guess we'll reap what we've sown. Yes, Fred. Because how long for the longest time were we told, oh, no, let your child do whatever they want. They'll learn. It's like, well, if why have parents if they're going to learn everything on their own? Then you don't need to have a parent. Yes, Teresa. Teresa said her mom said if she got in trouble at school, it'd be worse when she got home. And that's true. That's the way my parents were too. You never talk back to a teacher, ever. My daughters both work in public schools, one assaulted by a kindergartner. See, that's a problem. And that's when those kids should be removed and told they can't come back. Grandparents have a lot of kids, cruddy parents. I think grandparents are doing a lot of the raising of the kids in a lot of homes. I'm not putting those characters. I know. I noticed that, Teresa. I don't know why that's in there. You might want to change your password after the show. Yep, they are. And it's sad, but the kids that they raise are the ones that aren't raising their kids right. I mean, it's a huge problem. We got to get back to teaching kids. She didn't file a police report, but will if it happens again. I would too. No, it's no problem, Teresa. Discipline starts and ends at home. The school is not intended for bringing up kids. That's right, Jules. Except this one time was being bullied, so sprayed nose spray on their food. It was in first grade. Did you hear that there has been a gag order placed on the Manafort case? Well, probably should be. And there should be, we should never have known that the Manafort case was that there were going to be indictments. If you need a gag order, put it on the Mueller crew. But, again, we're trying everything in public these days. And so they probably have to do it. But, there shouldn't be leaks, but there should be absolutely. 12 indictments had blacked out. Yeah, it seems like, Shauna, all the things over the weekend that people said were going to happen certainly haven't happened yet. So I don't know what's going on. Gag order on Congress. There you go, Fred. There you go. My dad made me apologize and then outside told me he was proud of me. Sometimes you still have to you were defending yourself, Barbara. Make apologies. Yep. Sometimes apologies are necessary. Maybe we are just not hearing. Could be, Shauna. Things could be happening that we're not hearing about it. All right, you guys, thank you so much. If you would, please retweet this and share this. God bless you. Thank you for your support, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care. Blessings, everybody. God bless you. Take care. All right, YouTube, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Have a great day. Take care.